Hi again. After a 10-day absence, the dangerous duo is back. Oh my goodness, my sidekick is not happy to be on camera. Oh well. Anyway, so I'll get straight to it instead. My subject for today is your story is your greatest asset. And I'm talking about this because it was something that I struggled to wrap my mind around for some time, even since joining Big Idea Mastermind and Empower Network. Initially I was convinced that I could do it without having to tell a story for two reasons. I am a reserved person by nature. I like to be self-contained, come across as unemotional, and also not talk about myself much. That so much for personality. The other thing is that I never thought I had much of a story to tell. But I've since come to realize that most people's stories in life are not particularly dramatic. Most are just average, not exceptionally good and not exceptionally bad. But often things are just not good enough in life, so if we can overcome that, that's enough of a story to share. And I've decided to talk about this having listened to one of our mentors, Dave Sharpe, in one of his most recent training sessions. And the thing is that people connect with people more than anything. So if you want to influence people, and I'm not talking about anything underhanded here, but if your message is that you want to provide a product or a service or both that helps people, then it's essential to prove to them how, show them where you came from, what you ever overcame using this product or service or ideology, and where it's got you. And that is what people respond to. Now for me this was very difficult because I grew up in obviously with financial difficulties, an environment with, in my liking, in my mind, too many women, all of them emotionally charged, not fulfilling their potential, a lot of tears, drama and noise. And even at a very young age I hated that. I'm more like my father, who is more matter-of-fact sort of person, and seeing all that drama just reinforced to me that I wanted to be a low-key, self-contained person that you could be suffering, but at least you could show dignity with it. And one of my lifelong heroes was, and still is, Sherlock Holmes. He's exceptionally smart but unemotional most of the time to the outside world. And to be honest, I still believe in that. And there's always something you keep to yourself, but you want to come across as human to your prospects, because ultimately what drives many of us is the wish to help other people. So it's important to get straight on who you want to reach with your message, why it is that you want to affect them in one way or another, and what is it you want them to do. And the best way to do this is to trigger feelings in people by telling a story in a compelling way. Now my other issue, as I said, was that simply didn't believe I had a story. My aunts and my mother insisted on talking about the tragedy of their lives, how they were selected by the universe for the most suffering on the planet. And for me, this was all very off-putting. Even at a much younger age than now, I could see that these things that we were going through could have been solved with a bit of common sense and, mind over matter, smarter decisions. There was nothing exceptional about what we were going through. So of course I thought, I don't have anything to tell people. Certainly not when it comes to online business. And the funny thing is, when I told my mother that I had decided to start working on writing a book, and she immediately, oh, you want to talk about the tragedy of your life, and I simply couldn't believe it, that she didn't know me well enough not to think that, or that she could seriously consider me as the pathetic victim of tragedy. And I still insist that I'm not, but my life was bad enough through being misguided by myself that I wanted to improve it, and it's happening right now. So that's a story of overcoming inadequate circumstances and coming out as the winner. So I've come to think that that's good enough as a story, and that is why it's important for any of you who are considering a career in online marketing to accept that. It might not be easy, but it gets easier. And on another note, despite the image I was always portraying, I'm in the process of changing jobs just now, and I decided to invite my colleagues for a little farewell drink, because I'm also changing locations as well as jobs. And I have to say, I didn't expect that much of a response, because I know how I come across, and a lot of people don't like it, so I can live with that. But it seems that, at least over the last 2 months, what I've been learning has been making a difference in the way I come across. And I was really blown away by the fact that I got a few presents from these people. So it's not all that bad. So on that note, I think I'll stop rambling now. Just think about it, sleep a night on it, and put your story out there, because it is your greatest asset, whatever it is. So check below for how to get in touch if you like. I'd be happy to hear from you and exchange some ideas. So much for now. Good night.